What if I told you today that the difference between someone who achieves their dreams and someone who doesn't isn't about luck or even opportunity or even talent? It's actually about something that's much simpler. But the sad truth about it is, it's a harder road for most people to take. And stay with me here because at the end of this video, I'm going to be sharing with you and helping you understand the one thing that actually separates the successful people from the people who keep on struggling through life. So, hey, first of all, my name is Eva. I'm an intuitive healer. I'm certified in two modalities, one which is based on working with the Akashic records. And the second one is called quantum flow, which is all about the rewiring of your nervous system. And with these two modalities, I basically help my clients clear any blockages within their mental, emotional, spiritual well being and help them really awaken and connect to their authentic self expression, help them tap into their full range of the gifts, the beautiful gifts, their soul level gifts that they are meant to share with the world, and help them create a life that is functional in different aspects of their life and basically help you to clear anything that might be blocking you from tapping into who you really are. And maybe the reason why you're creating so much dysfunction in your life. But I'm going to be sharing more on that at the end of this video, so make sure you tune in until the end. But first of all, let's go back to the video. I want you to understand something. I want you to think actually about the last time that you started something. Maybe it could have been a fitness routine, or maybe you were trying to learn a new skill, or maybe even start probably a business or something like that. And then just when things got a little bit hard, you decided to quit. I want you to just keep that thought in mind, okay? The truth is that most people don't want to hear is that the beautiful magic that happens for you to actually get to the other side where you're starting to enjoy the fruits of your labor, it happens because of consistency. It's one habit, one move that's been repeated over and over again that actually yields this incredible result. But most people never wait until they actually get these results. They end up quitting right in the middle of it, right when probably sometimes when they're just about to achieve that dream. And then they decide, you know what, this isn't for me. Boom, they go back to their old life. This is where most people land in life. I don't know about you, but if you can think about that thing you started some time back and you just got to somewhere like, I'm not getting the results, that's what I want you to have in mind, okay? So let me ask you this. The last time that you started something and quit because the results weren't coming fast enough, I want you to be really honest with yourself. Okay. What was motivating you, first of all, to get started? What was your why? What was the reason behind you getting started on that thing? Because when you lose sight of that because you haven't gotten the outcome you've actually been working towards, that's when you usually quit. When you don't have a strong why as to why you're doing something, maybe you're being driven by some egoic need, maybe to people please or something that's really not connected to your authentic self, your true purpose, your true path. When it's not coming from deep inside you and it's just motivated by external validation to be seen as something. I hope you get my drift, right? Usually, when you don't have that connection to that why, that drive, chances are you won't have the push to get you past these hard moments. And this is what most people lack. I'm going to give you an example here. One of the persons I've been studying in the last couple of weeks is Kobe Bryant, okay? And I don't know why I never discovered these videos. I'm just starting to discover them, probably because this is the time I might have, resonated with the kind of person he was. Kobe Bryant, if you don't know who he was, he passed away, I think, in 2020, and he was one of the legendary NBA basketball players. And there's this thing that a lot of his what is it called, co-players have been sharing about him, about who he used to be as a player and his Mamba mentality and his level of drive, his level of passion for the game, and the amount of things he will do that just went against the norm of what most people expected. It set him apart. But he shares this. He wasn't always like this. When he started out, he was lucky enough to have a father who was already a legend in the game or had been playing, someone who had experience in the NBA game and all of that, right? He already had a father who had that background. So he was blessed enough to go to games with his father, go to practices and all of that. So he learned to get that passion from the game from his father, right? So when he gets to the age of 10, I think they normally have these summer camps or something like that where they just meet and play together. I'm not an expert in this, so I'm just gathering from the stories I've had. So he goes to his first, I want to mean his first summer camp or something like that. And throughout the entire camp, he's been playing and all of that. He's the son of an NBA, legend, I think, at the time. And he ends up not scoring one single point that entire time. Do you know how dissuading and discouraging that is? Like, especially when you have a father who's already in the game and is well known, and then here you are, and you know this, right? Whenever we see certain celebrities and they start, you know, introducing their kids to their passion and now getting the world to know them, like people have certain expectations, right? Because they are a son or a daughter of a certain legend, they expect you to have, the same talent as your parent. And here you are, you're showing up and you don't even score a point. That, for most people, will be a very discouraging thing to happen. Most people will just quit. Now he shares the beauty in this moment, and thank God he had an amazing father. His father just told him that, I don't care if you ever score a point or you don't. Either way, you're still my son, and I love you. And I know this is one thing that a lot of people will wish you have, which sadly is not the world we live in. But just to have someone telling you that it doesn't matter how many times you fail, I'm still gonna have your back. It doesn't change your standing with me. I wish every single one of us could have that one person. Sadly, we don't. It's the world we live in. So most of the times, for these successful people, for anyone who's ever achieved anything for themselves, that person has always been them. They've been their own cheerleader, clapping all along, their little wins, their little daily wins, and all of that no one ever sees. It's been them all along before the world catches on. And this is the journey that you might be forced to undertake if you actually intend on accomplishing anything in your life. That it's going to be you going down that lonely path, walking that path for a really long time, not even knowing if you're ever going to get to the end by yourself. Now, here's the beauty in this. Like, you assume that you're on your own, and there's literally never a moment in your life that you've ever been alone because you do have your guidance and you do have your spirit guides always with you. You just have to lean on them for support. But most people are not aware of this, okay? Most people are not aware that they can tap into and call in their angels and guides, whatever you call them, to assist you during these moments to help you get to the other side. You do have the ability, just ask. It's that simple. So going back to the Kobe Bryant story, so he's 10, he's failed miserably, he's encouraged by his father, and he could have easily just said at that point, you know what, this is not for me. I'm done, I'm gone. Let me find something else where I can be the star, right? But no, he decided, you know what, I might not be the best right now, but if I work on this day by day, even though I'm not going to get to the kind of player I want to be, but I focus on working hard, focus on small improvements every single day, whatever skill sets I need to gain. By the time it's 1 year, 2 years, whatever years down the line, I'm going to be at the level of these so-called good players at the time, at his age. I'm going to be at their level to compete at their level just by working on myself every single day. And his workouts were just super driven. Most people share that when some players normally work out once or twice a day, maximum, he will do it 3 times a day. And this is after waking up at 4 a.m. And he continued with this regimen for his entirety of his, I want to say his life. I don't know what happened after he resigned or retired from basketball, but he said for the entire duration of his basketball career, he will do that, wake up early, work out, put his body through the motions and all of that just to get stronger so he could be among the legendary players of the game. That takes tremendous discipline, passion, drive, focus that I admire. It might seem like it's too much. It was a lot also for his teammates, but it was very inspiring because of what he accomplished. So let's go back to him at 10 years old. He's not scored a point, and he's starting to develop that mindset that I don't care. I love this game so much and I want to be the best. He set that intention and he started working on it from the age of 10. Did he become the best at that time? No. He goes back to the summer camp the following year and he's made a small improvement. He scores a couple of points, but he's still not playing, top level game, right? So it goes back, consistent practice, showing up, not doing anything else, not going for parties, not hanging out with friends and all of that, just focused on improving his game. There is that for the next couple of years. And by the age of, I think he was getting to 14, 15, 16, one of those before he would got drafted by the Lakers. He was already one among the best state players, NBA basketball players. And this is coming from someone who could not score a point at the age of 10. So in a couple of years, just by him taking the small and developing that mindset of small, consistent steps, just improving little by little every single day, he got to that level. And he carried on with this mentality for the entirety of his career. He never stopped. So this is my encouragement for you. Whatever skill set you might be trying to gather, whatever improvement, whatever transformation, whatever healing you're trying to tap into, it's not going to happen overnight. If anyone lies to you that it happens overnight, again, use your discernment with this because, in my experience, I don't think it does. Sometimes healing transformation is a lifelong journey. I mean, what else are you going to do if everything was just done at the snap of a finger? It took so long for you to build a version of it that needed you to experience the transformation. So don't expect that releasing that old aspect of you is going to happen with the snap of a finger. This is where people get lost, right? So the amount of effort, the amount of energy, the amount of time you spent building this version of you that you want to change, you're going to have to apply an even stronger energy, focus, time, and all of that to destroy or distract that version of you so that you can build the new version of you and an even greater force than what you used to create this version of you that you don't like. Keep that in your mind. So don't quit just because you're not seeing the end in sight. You're not seeing the results. Maybe you've been at it for Lord knows how long. It doesn't matter. As long as you're focused on improving day by day, you're eventually going to get there. I mean, you're not always going to be stagnant. You're making small, consistent steps, slowly moving on. And before you know it, could be a year, 2 years, 3 years, who knows? Because every journey is different. But you will get to the end. But you never get there if you decide to go back, right? And another way you can also look at it is picture a child, right? When they're learning to walk. They don't get out of the womb and immediately they can walk, right? And yet, we as adults have so much patience and learn to celebrate children through all their milestones, right? When they learn to raise their head, when they learn to lift themselves up and support themselves, when they start learning to slightly crawl, when they start slowly lifting themselves up and trying to walk when holding on to surfaces, right? We're always cheering them on, and it's such a big deal when they accomplish that milestone. Why don't we do that for ourselves when we're adults? And remember, for a child, the period between when they get born and when they start walking, again, it's different for most children, right? Could be 1 year, 2 years, depending, I don't know, right? That period of time, it's not something that happens immediately. They build the muscle so that whenever they intuitively tune in into this is the time I need to walk, they've already spent all that time building that muscle to make that first step easier for them. This is the kind of mentality I want you to have when you're working towards your goal. It's not going to happen overnight. Okay. But slowly building that muscle so that when the time is near or happening for you and you're manifesting that goal, you're already ready to take that step into that new aspect of yourself. You're not fumbling, you're not falling around. You built the muscle to hold your dreams, your aspiration. Because without that built muscle, you're just gonna fall down and hurt yourself. Is that something you want? Obviously not. So don't look at this period between what you're working, the in between, as wasted time because you're not seeing the progress. You're building, you're training that muscle to be able to hold on to your dreams. That's how I want you to visualize it. And I think the saddest thing that has happened with social media is that we only get to see probably the beginning and the after, but never the in between. What happened in the in between? Rarely do we see people sharing the stories, unless maybe, the podcast where people are actually connecting deep and sharing their stories of their journey. That's when you're like, oh, so that thing is not actually simple. Please do go consume all those videos because trust me, I find it to be so inspiring when you see some of these people who've achieved great success. When you hear the backstories, the challenges that they went through, the years they went through, that they failed over and over and over again. But the only reason they managed to win and get to the other side, where we are now celebrating the success, is because they never stayed down. They fell down, they saw their failures, but they used that as fuel to get them to the next step. Not to stop, never to stop, but to actually fuel the drive. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not saying you're not going to face doubts and fears and all of that. Yes, that's normal, but get past it by keep on taking the action. Don't stop. Don't ever stop. That is my encouragement to you today. So I hope you found the stories I've shared today to be inspiring. And let me know in the comments, what have you been stopping yourself from doing? What is that thing that you've been having in your mind? Maybe you started a long time ago, and then because you didn't see the results, you were like, I'll try it later and all of that. Share in the comments and share your commitment that starting now, it does not matter how long it takes me, I am going to get to the other end. And I'm going to give myself the same grace we give to children as they're learning to take that first step eventually. I'm going to still give myself the same grace, the same compassion, the same celebration that we have with the little wins. I'm going to have that for myself. Commit to that in the comments and let us be a witness to your dream, right? So thank you so much for tuning in. Do subscribe to my channel if you do like the kind of content I share out here. I like sharing my insights because you never know what one little thing you might say might actually inspire someone else to completely shift the entire mindset. And this is the reason why I share my channel. And also for you guys to have a blueprint of, my journey through. At least I can look back and say, that is where I started. This is where I am right now. That's where I'm going to be in the future. Thank you so much for tuning in. I did promise I was going to share at the end of this video my beautiful program where I actually utilize the two modalities I mentioned earlier, soul element and quantum flow, again, to help you release whatever has been blocking you from awakening your true potential, awakening and connecting to your true authentic self. Because without that, without your authentic self-expression being expressed in the world, trust me, if you're not creating from that aspect of yourself, it only creates dysfunction in your life. You're going to keep on attracting the same lessons, the same people, the same experiences over and over again. And maybe you kind of feel like it's like a broken record. You keep on attracting the same thing, and you don't even have an understanding why is this happening. There's a reason for that. And with this beautiful program, you actually get to the root cause of why life has been happening to you the way it's been happening to you, and helping you identify what choices you've been making that have been creating that reality for yourself. So if any of this sounds good, maybe you're struggling with something and you would like some bit of energetic support, and beautiful tools that you can actually use to start transforming your life. I am not gonna promise you overnight success because this is something I stand by. True transformation does not happen overnight. It took a long time for you to build a version of you that's hurting right now. Please give it the same time for you to release it. So let me share my screen so that you might actually get to see what this program is about. So if you see on the screen, it's called Frequency Recalibration Program. These are the problems you're going to be solving during the 6 weeks with me, one on one. So it's not a group course, it's me and you working on whatever problem you're having. And these are the kind of problems and so much more, right? And the kind of outcomes that you might expect from the program as listed on the screen. And again, if this sounds like you, maybe you're probably not even sure if maybe the struggle you're going through, is it going to help or not? I'm going to invite you to book a discovery call with me, just a short 15 to 30-minute call where we're actually you can ask any questions just to help you determine if this program is a good fit for you. Obviously, this program is not for everyone. I will not recommend it for anyone. I only recommend to people who are actually ready for transformation because it will require you to get out of your comfort zone. And I'll be there to support you throughout. So you can scan the QR code or check out the link in the description box to book a discovery call with me. For now, I'm going to send you so much love. And again, don't forget to subscribe and also click on the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any time I share out any content. Thank you so much, and I will see you on the next video. Bye for now.